If ever there was a film that was wrongly compared to another film, it's Warm Bodies to Twilight. Nothing like each other at all. Warm Bodies is directed by Jonathan Levine, and he made the fantastic 50/50. So I was really interested in this movie purely because of his involvement. A lot of people were like, it's by Summit Entertainment, the same people who made Twilight. It's another paranormal-like romance. This is gonna be stupid. Now this world, essentially, the zombie apocalypse has already happened, and all these zombies are wandering around, and they're eating people and everything. There are still some humans who are trying to face off against these zombies, and then there are these things called bonies, these giant skeletons that basically are what happens to the zombies eventually. The zombies eventually decay to the point where they are just these evil skeletons that want to do absolutely nothing but eat. The main character of this movie, played by Nicholas Hoult, who you may remember as the little guy from About a Boy, or as Beast from X-Men First Class, this guy has this thing where this human side of him is starting to come back. He's hearing himself talking in his head. He wants to be different. He doesn't want to eat people, but he kind of does. And you hear his narration as the movie progresses, and once he meets this girl, this human chick who's like this complete hardcore chick with a gun, she's blasting away at zombies, he immediately falls in love with this girl. Now, how in the world is he going to convince her that he wants to be different even though he's still a zombie? This movie could have been awful. It could have been another Twilight. But gratefully, this movie understands the comedy behind a situation like this. It is so funny, so likable, so clever, and completely endearing, and it actually gets pretty dramatic in a lot of good ways. And I'm going to tell you that Warm Bodies is the first movie that's come out so far this year that I would literally just say, go see it. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and one of the biggest reasons is the film takes itself the way it should. It understands the funny situation that these two characters are in. It understands the humor behind it, and because it understands that, it gets you into these characters. It makes you like these characters a lot, and as the film progresses and it gets a little bit more serious, you are actually involved with these people, and you care about them, and you want to see stuff work out in the best way for these people, and it makes you more interested in the movie. It's also very funny, extremely clever, and well written, and very well acted by Nicholas Hoult. He was fantastic as this lead zombie R. He was so good in this movie. You really cared about him. He got a lot of laughs, especially in the first half of this movie where he's trying to get this girl to notice him. Some really funny stuff. I was really happy with this movie. I was just sitting there like, wow, yes, this is like a really cool, interesting romance, but it's also a fun movie for guys to see as well. It's not just some girly romance. Don't think that at all. This is a very funny movie, and it pushes the boundaries of PG-13 a little bit. Yes, it cuts away from the more bloody stuff, but I actually wasn't sure if it was PG-13 or R when the movie was over. Teresa Palmer plays this girl, and I thought she did a really good job in the movie too. I really liked the chemistry between these two leads. They worked well together, and they really played off each other comedically, and like I said, as the film progresses, it gets a little bit more serious, a little bit more intense, some action involved, really well handled too. And Jonathan Levine as a director is interesting because with 50/50, he took a subject that was very serious, that of cancer, and he was able to find the humor in it by that great script who was written by the man who actually had cancer himself. Warm Bodies, although a complete departure from the plot of 50/50, has a very similar way of going about telling its story. It takes something that may be a little familiar. You may think zombie movie, okay, scary, horror, romance in there, Twilight, you know? You may think those things immediately, but he takes it in such a different direction with this comedic twist to it. 50/50 and Warm Bodies proves to me that Jonathan Levine really knows how to do those genre-bending, twisty movies. And I gotta say, I definitely recommend seeing Warm Bodies. I had very few problems with the movie. Even though we didn't have a lot of time on screen, John Malkovich was also pretty good in the film. I'm definitely gonna recommend this movie to you. I'm gonna give Warm Bodies an A-. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and as always, if you like this, then you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.